gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Thoughts for the Soul. Tonight, I am your host, Mo. I'm from Houston, Texas. Had the pleasure of meeting this great guy not too long ago, and we kind of been thick as thieves ever since. So I have been a guest on this podcast, an avid listener of this podcast, an appreciator of this podcast, and so I am grateful for the opportunity. This is my first time hosting anything and interviewing a person, so if I shuffle my words, let's ignore that, okay?
It's gonna be alright.
I'm nervous, and I hardly get nervous.
It's gonna be alright. We're gonna be good.
Alright, you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Joe, founder of HigherLXNG, co-founder, and we can get into that story of Thoughts for the Soul podcast platform. Photographer, sneaker enthusiast. That's me.
Yep. Young black man, lover, all of these things. So many hats that you wear.
So many hats.
So good. Thank you again for letting me do this today and have the opportunity of taking over your podcast.
I appreciate you.
Kind of crazy. So let's start with this. How long have you been doing Thoughts for the Soul?
Thoughts for the Soul originally started in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
It was me and my homeboy Jesse. We went to Barbara Jordan. We went to Barbara Jordan High School together.
Right.
And so we started a YouTube channel, Thoughts for the Soul, a YouTube channel. We used to just get on there, show like my boy got so many kicks. It's not even funny. Like his collection is stupid. So we would just go on there, discuss upcoming releases. We would discuss, stuff that some of our favorites that we had in our collection. This was the whole night. We would do outlet runs, go to Nike outlet. But our work schedule was just so crazy, and so we couldn't keep it up. And then I moved, and after I moved away, that just pretty much ended it.
Yeah.
So
what made you want to restart it then?
After that, I did, I think, 2 more podcasts. I can't remember what the first podcast was after that, but the second podcast I did, it was called the First Come First Serve podcast.
Okay.
So I did the First Come First Serve podcast. It was with a homeboy in Dallas named Roswell. That was about sneakers. So we did that one together, and I was just like, I love shoes, but I want to talk about something other than shoes.
Okay.
I want to talk more about life. I don't just want to talk about sneakers, but I still want to talk about sneakers.
But just not all the time.
Just not all the time.
Yeah.
So, because I've always wanted my podcast to be a little bit more motivational, inspirational, have more meat to it than just shoes. The shoes could be the base of the conversation, the start of the conversation, but I didn't want it to be the conversation.
Yeah.
So I remember it was very tough. Like, this is about being an adulting, like respectfully and amicably saying, hey, this is not gonna work for me no more.
Yeah.
I need to venture out on my own. It won't be a conflict of interest because it's not gonna be the same, but I need to step away. So then I started the LXNG podcast, just to play on HigherLXNG. And with that podcast, I was just talking about more life stuff. It wasn't even about shoes. It was just talking to young artists, entrepreneurs, things like that.
Like what kind of artist?
Like it's a red dope artist. Well, she doesn't live here anymore. She was my very first guest. Her name is Brianna. She's from Austin. She went to Prairie View, and she does some very dope paintings, like beautiful paintings. I actually had one of her first ones that she commissioned a few years ago, and so her paintings, I just love them, like, because they're very vibrant, they're very black, just black. Like, she shows black people in a way I've never seen painted before.
Yeah.
So I had her on, we discussed her trajectory, her journey, how she got to that point. At that time, she was living in, I believe, Italy. I believe her and her husband went to Italy for a stint, and we recorded right when the pandemic started.
Gotcha.
And so from there, we just kept going with it. I just kept going with the LXNG podcast. Then, everything started, all of the killings that we experienced, George Floyd, just Ahmaud. It was just so many back to back, like in a short span. And I did some talking about, had some conversations with some people that I was close to about that as well. And so I was like, all right, so I'm gonna do this for the podcast. I'm gonna do Thoughts for the Soul on YouTube. Too nervous to get on camera. I remember one day I sat in front of the camera for like an hour shaking.
Really?
Yeah, I hit the door, I was just like, I can't do this. And so.
But why do you feel like you couldn't do that, knowing that you are an appreciator of art, you're an appreciator of artists? Like, what?
I'm a behind the scenes. I'm a
that?
behind the scenes person.
Okay.
Like when you shooting on the camera, you behind the scenes. You creating with the vision of somebody else.
Right.
But I'm behind the scenes. So it was just a very scary thing. Like I was just very terrified to do it. And so I was like, you know what, I'ma chill, but I still wanna do this.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what, man, be creative. You create, get creative.
Yeah.
Blend LXNG podcast and Thoughts for the Soul together. And that's what I did. So I just made LXNG podcast and Thoughts for the Soul podcast.
Gotcha.
And here we are, like, have met some very dope people, whether they're connected. It's all been through the network of sneakers.
Yeah.
Even if my guests that I have on, our conversation isn't about sneakers, it all happened because, hey, I met this person at Sneaker Politics. Hey, I met this person at this event. Hey, I met this person at that event. And so when I saw that I could keep it going from that, I was like, bet. So I merged the two. And that's why if you listen to some of my earlier episodes, it say, welcome to the LXNG podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But Thoughts for the Soul, I got my blessings. I got the blessings from my boy Jesse, because I was like, hey, I wanna continue this. You know, I know you couldn't do it. I know our schedule was messed up. How do you feel about it? Go for it. I support you. And this is where we at.
And here you are today.
Today.
And you've been interviewing big leaders in the sneaker industry like James Whitaker and Derek Curry. Like, speak a little bit to that. Like, how was that? Like, because sometimes you think about leaders in the sneaker industry and being a sneaker enthusiast and loving sneakers and knowing that these people have connections and they create sneakers with the brands that we all love.
Yeah.
Like, did you have like a fan moment? Like, was you really tripping out, or was you just like, you know what, I was meant to talk to these guys at this moment today?
Both.
Okay.
All right. So when you were a younger creative and you trying to get out there and get, just make content, you're so ambitious, but sometimes you bite out more than you can chew. Sometimes you feel like now is the time, when now is totally not the time.
You're not ready.
You're not ready.
Right.
You're not ready. You're gonna get in there, you're gonna butcher whatever you're trying to do, and it's gonna mess up their relationship.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm gonna tell you the first time I met Derek Curry at Sneaker Politics. It was the grand opening in Dallas. And I remember my cousin hit me up. He was like, hey, you might want to check this out. I was off that day. I got out there, and I was the first person in line. Like, I hadn't met anybody in there at that time.
Going back to your camping days.
I was the first person in line.
Yeah.
Just like, I didn't know what was. I was just there.
Yeah.
Derek, I believe Derek, his wife Amber, I think Fletch, they all pulled up on scooters, just flew. He was like, congratulations, you won. I said, won? What? I'm like, won what?
What did
he
I
was
win?
like, you won, man. What's your shoe size? I was like, size 13. He said, which color you want? I said, which color? What are you talking about?
Right.
It was the Sakai's that were dropping at that time.
Wow.
And it was the ones that I call them the Barneys, that look like Barney, the pink and purple ones. And I forgot the other two colorways they dropped at that time. And so like, had access to those instantly. That was my first interaction with Derek.
Wow.
Like, I heard stories about him, read about him. That was my first interaction with
And
him.
if you know you can't get a pair of Sakai's for
no, not at all. No.
It's kind of,
No.
you shouldn't be buying Sakai's at this point. I mean,
Nah.
I'm not trying to be in your wallet. It's probably not a good idea.
So that was my first interaction. I was like, oh, I want to get him on the podcast.
Yeah.
This was in 2019.
Okay.
Right? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just talk to you. But it don't work like that. Like,
No.
you have to build a true relationship. And not And you get to a point to when you build in a relationship, you realize even if what you wanted to happen doesn't happen, you cool because you have this relationship.
Yeah.
It's a genuine relationship.
Yeah.
And so we were just cool. And 2019, then shutdown happened, everything. 2020, it's just timing was not allowing it to manifest itself, right?
Gotcha.
And so I think starting in 2021, I would pitch. I started pitching it to him. He's like, yeah, man, Derek, if you know Derek, this man moves around so much.
Yeah.
He does so much. If he's not doing work, he's on vacation. If he's not on vacation, he's working.
Gotcha.
But he's always moving, always going. And so when he would be like, all right, I'm gonna get back to you. All right, let's try to set it up. Then it'll be more work schedule. And like I remember one time when I went to the event when ASICS dropped this year, he was like, man, you always working. I'm like, damn. He said,
Yeah.
like, damn, you.
It's good to be noticed like that.
You always work. I was like, yeah.
It would be different if he was like, man, you always standing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be that guy.
He was like, damn, you always working. I was like, yeah, man. And so we planned it for June. Didn't work for June. We planned it for July. It just so happened that we were able to sit down and do it.
Yeah.
And that was amazing.
Yeah.
Like I was so happy that I was able to do that.
Okay.
And then let's see, with James, I've been supporting the brand for so long, the company for so long, since before 2017.
Shout out to Whitaker Grp.
Yeah, since before 2017, I was just support because I love what they stand for, what they do, community, but not even just community, just the black, just always representing, doing everything, right?
I think that makes a huge difference,
Right.
because sneakers is a vast community, right? But when you are speaking to blackness, when you are like catering to blackness, wanting to tell black stories, wanting to bring awareness to blackness, I think it's easier for black people in this community to want to be involved in it.
Right. Right.
So when you were, I know you have a unique story of how you
do.
actually got
You do
to
know.
record this episode with James Whitner. Shout out to James Whitner of Thoughts for the Soul. Tell everybody about that, because I don't know if everybody kind of knows.
So that was a crazy week. We were supposed to do it one week. Schedule got tied up. Didn't happen. The day we were supposed to record, I was like, dog, this is just my luck, my fate. The day we were supposed to record, it was like a power outage.
Mm-hmm.
So he gave me a call. We talked. He was like, nah, man. He's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I was trying to set up Zoom. I don't know how to use Zoom. Like, I don't use Zoom like that.
Right.
Like, to have it to where it calls the phone. I don't have no business account.
We are not part of the work from home group.
Yeah, nah.
We don't know how to use Zoom.
We get out here and we get it. So it didn't work. So I was like, well, let's try to do it tomorrow. He was like, let's reschedule for tomorrow. I'll make it happen. Don't worry. Set the time for it. Just so happened I had a dentist appointment that morning. So I had my dentist appointment. I was like, it's no way I'm gonna make it back and be able to record this podcast. I have to record this podcast in the back of my truck. So I pulled over to this garage. It was a little quiet. If you listen to the episode, you hear a little horn or something pass by. That's why. I had to sit in the back of my truck, had my full makeshift studio, and I was able to record one of the most authentic podcast episodes, conversations ever. It was like one of those things, like we were able to talk as, not just like as a respect of in the industry, but like just as black men, just as human beings, just going back and forth over just what's going on in the world. And what even made that episode like just so memorable to me and special is we recorded that. I believe we recorded the episode on the day that everything happened with George Floyd.
The conviction and
everything. No, like when.
Oh, the anniversary.
On the anniversary
I
of that.
got you.
We recorded that on the anniversary of that, and so we got to dive into that a little bit. We dove into what had just happened in Uvalde, because that was a week before.
Yep, I remember that.
And so like that episode was like just one of the rawest episodes, conversations that I've had. And so that's just, I built the relationships off of genuine and authentic support. When I lived in Dallas with Sneaker Politics and Derry, I would make sure I try my best to go to every event, not because I wanted anything, but because it was just the experience that you would have in stores. That the way that they would have their events, it was just like, hey, like family, like let's party. Let's have a block party, like an old school block party. And so just genuine relationships, not saying, hey, can you do this for me? Hey, let me get in, let me do this. It was just like, nah, I'm gonna come. I know how to take pictures. I'm gonna take pictures at this event, post them on my Instagram, promote sneaker politics, People come to the events now, oh, you plugged in. No, I'm not. I just enjoy sneakers.
I'm doing what I love.
I love sneakers, I love taking pictures. So I mixed the two together. Same thing, Whitaker Grp. Love what James has been doing, what he's continuing to build. Support it, read about it, know about it, hear about it, see it in person. I'm gonna support it.
I think that's a big thing, like a big thing that you should be very proud of, because a lot of people don't just do it for the love of doing it.
Right.
A lot of people are like, what is gonna come from this? Like,
Yeah.
what opportunity can come from this? Who am I gonna meet that might start me on my way or whatever?
Right.
So to do it out of the love, I think is big. So what do you think was your biggest win this year? It's been a lot. I know it's been a lot.
I've had a few wins. Okay.
And I asked this because to know Joe is to know he is extremely hard on himself and he doesn't celebrate himself enough. So this was a question that I got from a friend of mine that I was supposed to be sure to ask this question today. Talk about it.
So I'm gonna say two. Two wins that, cause it's kind of, that is pretty tough. But I'm gonna put it at two. It was because one set me up, one foreshadowed the other.
Okay.
The first one I'm gonna say is the shoot we did with you for House of Hoops.
Okay. Not
The
me.
reason I say that is you didn't know it at the time, but it challenged me. It challenged me because I'm someone that likes to, if I'm off, I like to be off.
Okay.
Right? And when you asked me, I was like, I like to be off because I had already been set in my ways with that, right?
Let me give a backstory. I got an opportunity to shoot for House of Hoops, and I had a lot of stuff going on personally in my life. This was February of 2022.
February,
Personal life had a lot of things going on. Tried to do it myself and was like completely like, this is unacceptable. I cannot submit this work and be okay with it.
Yeah.
They sent a couple of critiques back and I called Joe. And mind you, the way my work schedule was I was working every day at that point.
Yeah.
I just so happened to like call Joe on a one day that he's
The
off.
one off day.
The one day that he's off. And have we even met like in real
person
life
at that
before this?
time? No, we had not. We had not met in person.
We had only been like.
No, we had not met in person at that time.
So this is how you know you connected to good people. I call him and I'm like, Joe, I know I only know you on Instagram.
That's crazy.
But I need your help. I don't know if he could tell like the desperation in my voice, or like Mo probably got a lot of shit going on right now. And like, how can I be there for a friend? Joe came through for me. In 24 hours, we talked on the phone, we met at Root Square Memorial Park downtown, we shot, edited,
got them that
the
night,
photos back, and submitted them back to House of Hoops, only for them to not post them for like 3 months.
For 3 months.
Which was like annoying, but like it spoke to like, okay.
But when they did roll it out, it was right on, it
was
rolled,
it was
right.
perfect.
We will say that.
Yeah.
When they did roll it out, it did like the momentum, the train.
It was good. It was good. So that just, thank you.
Yeah.
So anyways, go ahead.
So we met up, we did that, and I was like, all right. It did a lot of things. It shifted a lot of things for me. It made me say, hey, you want to build? No off days.
Yeah.
I have an Uncle Norris. He used to always tell his son, Norris, which is my big brother and cousin, there are no such things as off days when you're an adult.
Yeah.
And so it was like, dog, this is my off day, my one off day.
Damn, that's true.
And I was like, it made that, my mind shifted. I heard that in my head. Like, Norris used to always tell me, like, there are no off days. And I was like, what do you want to do? You want to sit here and say, nah, I can't do it. Get off the phone with you, sit outside, twiddle my thumbs, go eat some chips, go to sleep, right?
Right.
I say, let's do it. We do it. Turns out beautiful, right? That shifts my mind to like, okay, dog, you find your intermittent rest here and there whenever you can, but you got shit to do.
Yeah.
Right? So that foreshadowed when I get a call to shoot a very big event for Complex Lacoste.
Come on.
So I'm like, okay, they want me to shoot the entire event and they want me to edit the pictures that night.
Yeah.
That foreshadowed and helped me to say, hey, you know what? I know how I can now turn this around overnight.
So you had that practice from working with my trifling ass, and it ended up being good practice for like something legitimate.
Right.
Not that this it was amazing.
Right.
But this is huge. Complex is a huge brand for the culture.
Right.
Lacoste is always historic.
It's historic, yeah.
Brand,
Right.
You know? So how was that event? Like, talk about it a little bit.
That event, that event challenged me too. I can talk about that. I had been studying, like I knew all the skills I had. I still like, I'm a student. I'm always a student. So I was still like looking at tutorials, checking, double checking, triple checking my settings. I bought some new equipment, make sure my batteries were not down me, whatever. So I'm ready. I'm like, man, there's only one thing that would make this very difficult once I get in here. But I know that's not gonna happen. I get in there. You know, you want to use your speed like your flashlight, but
we don't know anything about that.
So when you shoot events and it's a dimmer, a lower light event, you want to make sure you want to use your speed light and you bounce that light, the light off of the walls to hit your subject. But you prefer for it to be a white wall because it's gonna bounce off, it reflects off. If it's black or dark, no bouncing.
No.
I get in there, jet black,
Oh, come on.
no bouncing. I say, man, so I get my product shots. That was easy peasy, whatever. I do product.
Right.
Product is, I get that.
Second nature.
So I shoot them, people start going like, man, I gotta figure out how to play with this light. They had strobe lights. I said, oh, this gonna make it even worse.
Yeah.
They had a fog machine. I said, oh, y'all kidding
So
me.
you had everything stacked.
So I'm like, but listen, it all played to my favor.
Yeah.
Because the strobe lights made pretty lights. You saw the shot with DJ Fanny made.
Shout out to DJ.
Yeah, DJ Fanny, appreciate you.
Yeah.
That made that shot much more epic. The smoke, it gave it a background. It gave some shots that like, oh, in the midst of living, partying, having fun, like look. And so it ended up working in my favor, not my detriment. And so working through that, sorting through all those pictures, I stayed up all night from 11:30 to 5:45 to make sure all those pictures were the way I wanted them to be before I sent them off. Went to sleep, had to get right back up to record another podcast at 8:30. And that was just like, I am tired, but I'm having the time of my life.
Yeah.
And so that's what it made me, it helped me to realize you could do this.
Yeah.
You can get through all of this stuff. Like, it don't matter, like, you're tired, whatever, push through, rest gonna be here. But what you're building is much more important. Just like this week has been heavy with everything that's going on in the world, personal life, entertainment, people, being killed in Houston. Black man, young, not even 29, 28, not even 30.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, for real. Just heavy. I feel all that. I feel everything, and it's just like, it made me just want to tap out. And I'm like, Doc, you can't tap out.
No.
Like,
No
you got so much stuff you have to do, you can't tap out.
Yeah.
So I let it out. I let the clips out. I put it on my IG stories. Hey, I'm feeling like this. But sometimes what gets you through is doing the shit you gotta do.
Yeah.
Kept doing it, keep going, and we're here tonight.
Here we are. So I also wanted to make sure that tonight I spoke to something light, right? Because I know you personally, right? So how do you keep it light? In the midst of having all these things going on, you got like 6 jobs. We saw recently your love interest on Instagram, which was beautiful photos.
Thank you.
You have family, you have all these things going on. Like at what point, like how do you keep it light when you get to take a break?
How I keep it light?
Yeah.
My sister here and my cousin brother in New York introduced me to cigars.
Okay.
Cigars is how I keep it light.
That's how you do it. That's how you chill out.
Give me a nice stogie. I breathe in some good air and puff till there's no more puffs to go. And I just chill. Nature walks.
Okay.
I love nature. I'm real in tune with nature. I go get me cardio in at the same time, breathe in fresh air, reconnect with the planet. I mean, those are the two. And I'm, surprisingly, like shooting photography, that's therapeutic to me. And podcasting is therapeutic to me. Both of those are very therapeutic.
So it doesn't feel like a job, those two.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
So it's therapeutic, and those in the moment, in the zone, it just helped me. It just helped me to get through it, helped me to keep going in life and feel. My mentor always says you got to shake out the filter, because if you don't shake out the filter, it's gonna be so heavy. It's something every day, but it's also something to be grateful for every day. So I try to focus on that, breathe, inhale, exhale, and keep going with it.
I'm glad you mentioned the cardio because we all getting up there.
Yeah.
And I think physical health is something that a lot of us we kind of put on the back burner for a little while.
Right.
But it's something that if you want to have longevity in everything else in your life, you gotta pay a little bit of attention to. So I want to talk a little bit about how important that is to keep you going as a person who is busy with arts and work.
Drink water.
Yeah. I
had a few health scares this year. I ended up going to the ER like twice this summer, and it's just anxiety, stress, worry, and just not taking care of my body. Drink water, 5 to 8 bottles of water a day. Drink water. Make sure you eat your fruits, your veggies, and a lot of the time we don't have time. We don't make time to do it, so
right.
We don't have time. So get you a supplement. I take this supplement. It's a super green supplement. 1 scoop, little 8 ounce of water, shake it up, and you got your vegetables for the day. So I do that. I do 30 minutes of cardio a day, workout, walk, jog, run, and just watch what you put into your body. Like if you're not alive, if you're not healthy enough to see your works and the fruits that come from it, what's the purpose of it? What's the point of it? Right. Nobody is you. Right. You can have children, they can carry your legacy. They're not you. Yeah. You can have family, they love you. They'll try to carry, but they're not you. Yeah. So if you're not alive to be here and see everything coming to fruition, what's the point? What's the purpose of it?
So I have another question that came from a friend of mine.
Okay, this gonna be another good one.
This is a good one because it's completely off this one. If you could collab with any brand.
This is not a good one.
This is a good one.
This is not a good one.
This is a good one.
Okay.
Let me get the question out, please.
Okay.
I'm hosting today. If you could collab with any sneaker brand on any silhouette, what would you do? What's that one that you, even from when you was younger, you was like, you know what, if I get my moment, I'm gonna make this.
Okay. So you said one what brand?
What brand, what silhouette you always thought about you wanted to do?
The brand would be Nike.
Okay.
I have to say the silhouette. It's 2 silhouettes that come to mind, but I know which one I would really just rock the most. It would be Nike Jordan brand.
Okay.
It would be Jordan.
Come on.
And it would be the Jordan 3.
Shout out to Jumpman.
It would be the Jordan 3. That's is it my favorite? That may be my favorite shoe of all time.
Okay.
The Air Max 1, I believe, is my favorite silhouette, but just as far as like a shoe, everything that goes to a shoe, the Jordan 3 is my favorite shoe.
What's your favorite that you got? What's your favorite Jordan?
Black Cement.
Come on.
Black Cement.
It's the hardest one.
Black Cement is just, it's easy.
It's easy.
You know how people change out Air Force Ones, white Air Force Ones?
Yeah.
I can wear the Black Cements every day. Give me a new pair every day, I'm good. Like that's colorway, the silhouette, it would be the Jordan 3.
Jordan, Jumpman, we ready for another retro on that. You know, we got the white cement.
That's
4 or 3. White cement 3.
Yeah, that's
White
supposed to
cement
come
3 is
out.
coming out.
A part of the Real Magic series is supposed to be coming out next year.
That's what they're saying.
So we'll be staying told to that. We'll see how that goes.
Okay.
But yeah, it would be the Jordan 3. At second would be the Air Max 1, and then 3. I don't even know I have a 3. If I could just do those 2, I would be great.
You'd be good.
I'll be fine. Yeah.
Nike and Jordan, hook my man up, please. If anybody's out there listening. So why sneakers of all things? Like, you could have been into anything else in this world, but why sneakers? What spoke to you with the sneakers? How young were you when that started popping off for you?
Well, actually, you know, she don't know it, but my mom actually got me into sneakers.
Really?
So, you know, we grew up, a lot of people grew up poor, black people grew up poor. I know I did. I didn't realize it,
Right.
but we grew up that way. It was very insulated because we had a village.
You never felt without.
I never felt without. I
That's
never,
right
yeah, I never felt without.
Yeah.
And so it was a shoe called the Nike Air Sunder
Okay.
Low. And I remember we got those shoes from, I think it was a store called Wieners at the time.
Come on, Wieners.
Right, wasn't it with the, yeah, Wieners.
And I ain't
And
seen
so,
Wieners.
and so
1998.
I got them from Wieners or whatever.
That's some. I got
And
something on layaway.
I remember those shoes, like I love those shoes.
Yeah.
And I look back, that was the very first shoe that I was like, oh, this is a grill.
Mm-hmm.
This is a shoe that I love. And I hope Nike, please retro them. Please retro. Not a collab, but they did one with CDG recently.
Mm-hmm.
I just want just the shoe by itself.
The original.
It was a
the
white.
original.
The color I had was white, navy blue, and gray.
Mm-hmm.
It just so happened to be the same shoe that Ice Cube wore next Friday.
Really?
The reason I know that is because Good Burger on Instagram, Nice Kicks Vault,
Mm-hmm.
I sent him a picture because I couldn't ID him. He was able to look him up and like, oh, that's this. And he was like, yeah, Ice Cube won. I was like, nah, he did with him in that movie.
On next Friday with Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, with the FUBU jersey.
The FUBU
Because
jersey.
the shoes matched the FUBU jersey.
I just think about Rancho Cucamonga.
So,
I don't know if I can say that on here. That's a good movie.
hey, it's a great movie. Now you good. And so that's what got me into it. Then growing up, not being able to, everybody had that. Most people had that story. Growing up, not being able to afford the shoes I want.
Yeah.
You know, I see people in the neighborhood. When I used to go to visit my grandparents, used to do a named Doug. He was like, you looked up to Doug because he was a little older, and he'd come in the neighborhood. He had the 17s with the suitcase. And
Yeah.
all that. I'm just like, dog, I can't wait to get these shoes. And so I started working at Pizza Hut in the 7th grade. I mean, no, not 7th grade. I think it was 11th grade.
Right. If you was working
Yeah.
at
It was the 11th grade when I started working at Pizza Hut in the 11th grade. That's all I blew my checks on was
straight up sneakers.
was just sneakers.
Yeah.
Anything. I didn't even have to like it. Just give me that. Can I squeeze that in this $200 check? Yes, give me those, please. Can I get these two for $250? Bet, give me that. And that's all it was.
Yeah.
Sneakers and hoodies. Cause I wore a uniform. I would buy the sneakers and the matching hoodie, and that would be my fit for school.
So talk about growing up in Houston. The sneaker culture in Houston is just, in my opinion, as I deem myself mostly an outsider. I just got hip to this whole game a few years ago. But talk about how the sneaker climate has changed in Houston for you.
Honestly, it really hasn't changed. I mean, you have Hypebeast, you have resellers, you have all of that. But the thing that it's the same as when I first started. It's overlooked. Houston has a very rich sneaker community.
Absolutely.
My boy Jesse, Jesse, come on, man, like, make some time, brother. If I could ever catch up with him, he has one of the most astonishing collections that you'll ever see.
Yeah.
I don't care who put that stuff on Instagram, Complex, whatever. His collection, the history of his collection, since we were in middle school, got stuff that I outgrew and he still could fit. Like, it's crazy.
Really?
You got people out here that have collections like that, but you'll never know what, maybe because they don't want to be seen, but if you see these people purchasing these shoes, you should be able to put it together like, hey, bet, I see his face all the time.
Yeah.
Let me holler at him, because it's a rich community. You just don't know it. A lot of people didn't know I was a sneakerhead for a long time.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't know I love sneakers for a long time. I mean, I used to have so many pairs of sneakers. This is... I used to have so many pairs of sneakers.
Is it like almost embarrassing how many...
I was just saying, when I was living with my mother, I had a bed, and my shoes, I filled my closet was filled with sneakers. So I put clothes in crates, and around my bed, the shoes were stacked up to the ceiling.
Yeah.
And like if something tipped over, I would die because they would just fall.
Wow, that does.
And I had them underneath my bed.
Yeah.
And I had pairs at my grandparents' house, and I had pairs at my aunt's house.
Because I like to ask people this question because, like, when did you decide enough was enough? Because it gets too hard to wear them all. You get to a point where you sit on too many DS pairs. Mm-hmm. Like, when did you decide enough was enough?
2016.
Okay.
It was before they did it was right after they started doing the remaster program on Jordans. Because I really was just collecting Jordans.
Right.
And when they did the remaster program, I started seeing how the quality was on shoes. I said, man, I'm getting rid of these shoes. And like you said, I couldn't wear them. I wasn't wearing them to work with animals and get blood and piss and feces on them. So I wasn't wearing them to work. I wasn't gonna hoop in them. I don't hoop like that.
Right.
I hoop in one pair of shoes, and that's it. And so I was just like, you know what? Let me just get off of these shoes. I donated a lot. I sold a lot, and I've kept my collection pretty good from that point. Because I remember before I started selling all those shoes, I probably was like at 275, 300.
Damn.
Yeah. 270. I collected Jordans. I got into LeBrons in that time, and then I started dabbling with just other stuff like old school Nikes, Air Flights, things like that. And my collection just Air Maxes, and my collection just ballooned. And then in 2016, I was like, I gotta stop this.
What's the one pair you wish you would have kept? Right. Because we all have that one pair. It's like, why did I get rid of those?
I have a few pairs. I can give you the whole list.
We don't have time for
the 08 bread, the 08 pack with the breads and the taxis.
Okay.
The 09 Space Jams. The 25th anniversary 11s, the all white ones. The 25th anniversary Jordan 4s, the all white ones. The Motorsport 6s. And it was a pair of my True Blue 3s that had the Jumpman on the back. My black cement 3s that had the Jumpman on the black, and white cement 3s that had the Jumpman on the back. All of those pairs. I wish I would have killed. I wish I would have killed all of those.
All of those pairs sound like pairs that I remember seeing like my uncles and stuff wearing back in the day. Like before I was even completely interested in sneakers, before it had grabbed me up at that point. I remember seeing most of those. Some of them you have to show me a picture.
Yeah. Motorsport 6s, yeah.
I need to see a picture.
Yeah, I love those shoes. I let them go.
Yeah.
It hurt my soul. But it's okay. You live and you learn.
Live and you learn.
Live and you learn. And we keep climbing these ranks in the creative space. Hey, maybe, you want to get the Motorsport 6 again? Yes, please. Thank you.
I would love that.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Yeah. So, yeah, those are the ones I wish I would have kept.
So what are you looking forward to? Who are you looking forward to working with? What type of, do you have anything coming? Like, what are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to, I'm looking forward to work with anybody who values what I have to give.
Not just sneakers.
Not just sneakers, just period. In photography, in podcasting, writing, I look forward to whoever sees value in what I put out.
Yeah.
And then as far as sneakers, just, of course, the Whitaker Group, of course, working with certain brands, like I look, if the opportunity presents itself organically, I look forward to that as well.
Yeah. We want names, Joe.
Nike.
Of course.
And Jordan brand.
Of course.
And honestly speaking, I would want to do something with ASICs, something really cool with ASICs. I love ASICs.
Yeah.
They're a real cool chill shoe. I want to do something with ASICs, and I mean that would pretty much be it. I mean, New Balance. I love how New Balance has come alive, come back alive.
GMG.
Yeah, I love how what that resurgence is. I don't think I have the palette for New Balance to do New Balance any justice. When I say I'm like, oh, I love that,
Yeah.
but I probably wouldn't be able to.
Do you
But
think
that's good.
it would look weird on your foot, or
No, I wear
You
them.
wear 'em?
Yeah, I wear
Okay.
them. I was wearing New Balance before it got real crazy, and I'm not saying that like I had a lot of pair. I had one pair. It was like the flying. It was just a random pair of gray New Balance, flying the flag.
yeah?
I bought them from overseas, and that was the first pair of New Balances I had. Very comfortable. I love these shoes. The quality is great.
New Balance, y'all also call us because y'all prices get crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Last time I was looking at some shoes.
Hey, nah, it hurt my feelings. Like
This looks like my
hurt my feelings. Correct. Like hurt my feelings. So yeah, holla at us, please.
Please, we would love to be with you. What drops you looking forward to? The year's almost over. It's November. What drops?
So the Lost and Found ones, the Chicago twos. Lost and Found ones. They haven't. People gonna know because technically they have not been revealed yet. Stay tuned to my Instagram next week. You may see some pictures of them next week. They're a very pretty shoe. I will say it's a Jordan 4. That's a certain Jordan 4 that if they do
Of course.
come out, I will indulge in those,
Yeah.
partake and copy those.
Yeah.
And again, I have pictures. If you stay tuned next week, you will see them whenever. And it was one more pair of shoes because I know I can't get all the ones I want because Key is not gonna allow that. So what's the
Shout out
other
to
pair?
Key.
What's the other pair? It was one more pair. Chicago 1s, 2s, those 4s that I've been looking at. And
Those are the only 3 on my list.
those are
Those are the only 3 that I need for the rest of the year.
I can't remember the 4th one, so it doesn't
But if I
matter.
buy some more, sure, don't be.
I can't remember the 4th one, so it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna just say those 3. I'm looking forward to those 3. These are dropping. I hope you entered the raffle and cop these. If you didn't, you have another chance. Well, if you're watching live, you have another chance tomorrow. If you missed the live, by the time you hear this, they'll probably be gone. But very beautiful shoe here.
Shout out to the social.
The host here has them on. They're very beautiful. They look even better on feet.
Thank you, social status.
So, yeah, those would be the shoes that I'm looking forward to the
Yeah.
most. I can't remember their 4 shoes, so that's it.
Okay. All right. Did I miss anything?
You did not. The only thing, host, that you.
Are we doing live critiques
The only,
right
the
now?
only thing, host, that you have to ask me is if you were talking to someone right now on their creative journey, what is one thing you could tell them to keep them motivated?
That was my next question, Joe.
Okay. You asked me out there.
That was my next
You
question.
asked me and I just told you.
If you could help anybody right now, currently where they are, they're standing 2 feet at this moment in their creative journey, what would you tell them? Given your experience, given the times you wanted to give up, given the times you've been knocked down, given the times you've been told no, given the times where you told yourself no when it really wasn't a no, all these things that have happened for you, if you could speak to whoever out there at this moment in their career journey, give them some advice, Joe.
Get out your head and do the work. Get out your head and do the work. Life gonna continue to throw curveballs, fastballs, sliders, everything that it can with you. Get out your head, do the work. And you can attest to this to the people that's in this room right now. It's a part of your tribe. It's a part of my tribe, right? Insulate yourself with your tribe. You have conversations with people that will push you, that will tell you what you don't want to hear, that will hold you accountable, that will continue to make you go, like even when you want to give up. I remember there was a point in time where I quit vet med like for during the pandemic for like 6 to 8 months, something like that. I was just doing Uber, DoorDash, Instacart, and that's all I did. I was out there every day.
Yeah.
I just needed a break from corporate. And my sister right here, we would talk every day. She would get out there sometimes, and we would talk every day, just planning shit, just planning life and what we want to do about like with business. Like, nah, I don't think I can do it. Nah, you can do it. But think about this, ideas. Ideas, and that helped me to, when it was time to start putting plans to action, like those conversations set me up. So get out your head, do the work, insulate yourself with your tribe, whether you found them or they found you, and just have fun. Like if you're passionate about it, let that passion push you and drive you.
Yeah.
And regardless of how it feels right now, it's gonna feel better later on if you consistently do it. And that's it.
You know, last time we talked, your mom said, if it's a fire, and she had made that gesture right there.
Yeah, I know.
If it's a fire burning in you, you can't ignore it. So
Right.
there's nothing to ignore. Whatever your fire is, keep on with that. And whatever that you do. And this has been amazing.
Hey man, this has been crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I've been wanting to say ladies and gentlemen for like a month since you asked me to do this.
Go ahead.
I just want to say thank you again for having me, for working with me, for dealing with my difficultness, my deadlines, my kind of bullshit sometimes, and still finding it worth your time to work with me. We have a good friendship and a good working relationship,
For sure.
in my opinion.
For sure.
And so I'm grateful for that. So, any last parting words that you want to say before we get out of here?
I appreciate you for the same things you said. I can't say it any better. I appreciate everybody that came out tonight.
Thank y'all.
Everybody.
You guys are amazing.
Taking the time out, and thank y'all for helping me kick off my birthday month.
Yes.
I appreciate you all. Love you all. And this was pretty weird to be on this side of it, but it's cool. I do it maybe once every 2 or 3 years, and you know, with the road.
Because you gotta keep the people updated.
Yeah, I will a little
you're
bit.
like a man of
Or maybe I might just do like 10-minute episode. Hey guys, this was going on, like boom, and then keep it moving.
I think that's good.
That's what I do. Thank
Yeah.
you. Good deal.
So shout out to everybody out in the sneaker community on IG who follow us, who rock with us, the women in sneakers, the men in sneakers.
Right.
Everybody who's giving us opportunities to do what we love to do. If we're looking for you, Joe, where can we find you?
HigherLXNG. That's all you have to search. You can search that Instagram. You can search that on Spotify and Apple Podcasts to find a podcast. You can search that on YouTube. That's it. HigherLXNG.
HigherLXNG. What about TikTok?
No.
We not no TikTok.
I have a page, but right. I'm not that candid. I can't dance. I don't do all that.
I be going to throw my phone thinking about a TikTok.
Yeah, correct. Like, how can I? No,
I'm not that
I'm
cool.
not.
People think I'm cool.
I'm not doing that. No.
That's it.
So no TikTok, no.
No TikTok.
No.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Thoughts for the Soul. Thank y'all so much for watching, for joining, for always supporting, and we love y'all, Joe. You my nigga.
I appreciate you, my nigga too. Till next time, peace.
Peace.
It was.
You talking to me?